we have some amazing tips, and we can't wait to share them with you. Before Destiny starts the workshop, we're just going to introduce ourselves. My name is Katarina, and I'm an HR manager and career coach. I've been in HR for over 6 years now, and I've been a career coach for over like 7 years. I really enjoy doing these workshops and, like share some tips and resources with you. And I'm hoping that today I can help you, I can provide you with something and you can, like apply that during your job search.
And I'm Destiny. I'm a career coach as well, and I work full-time as a vocational rehabilitation specialist. So I've been doing that for 3 years. Essentially, what it means is that the main part of my clientele were working in one field, and then due to certain life circumstances, had to switch over to a different field. So I really do help them with that transition, making up those resumes and practicing interview skills, and LinkedIn profile development is also one of my favorite. So that's what we're gonna go through today.
Perfect. And before we start, you are all muted during the workshop. If you want, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and then Destiny or myself, we can unmute you. No need to use the video. This session it's recorded, and you all going to receive the recording in the next couple of days, so you can review it if you want to. If you have any questions, you can post them in the chat window. Or you can use the Q&A function, and we will address those during the workshop. At the end of this workshop, we have a slide of all of the upcoming events, but you can also check all of our events on the Devant website. Oh, and then one more slide, a little bit about Devant. I'm sure you're all familiar with Devant now. I can see like some familiar names. I know that you've been attending a lot of our workshops, but Devant, the main goal is to help students and graduates to get hired in Canada. We have helped over 25,000 job seekers. We been working with over like 30 employers who have active job opportunities, and we have a lot of events every month. Again, you can check our Devant website and you can see all of the upcoming events, for February and March. Now I'm gonna pass it over to Destiny, and she can start the workshop.
Okay, so today we're going to be teaching you about the components of an excellent LinkedIn profile. And like I mentioned before, please feel free to contribute to the presentation by asking questions in the chat throughout. Oh, next. Okay. So to start out with your LinkedIn profile, one of the most crucial components is your profile picture. So it's definitely something you want to take some time in selecting. It is your first impression, so it's typically the first thing that a user is going to see when they come to your profile. And also research shows that just by having a picture makes your profile 14 times more likely to be viewed by others. And having a good picture increases those odds even more than 14 times. So some tips for choosing the best profile photo for your LinkedIn profile. A clear, recent, and high resolution image would be best. Your face should fill about 60% of the frame, and it should be from your shoulders up. And you should be the only person in the picture, so avoid group photos or cropping yourself out of photos that you really like. Definitely try to get another picture just by yourself. You can use a tripod or have someone else take the photo. At your school, you might also be able to go to the Career Center. They might have events where they are taking photos just for LinkedIn, or just for professional photo purposes. It's also important to choose the right facial expression. It is how you want to be perceived. So a smile would be the most appropriate. You want to avoid distracting backgrounds. So you can use AI to remove the background if you need. I would dress appropriately as well. So consider your industry and your personal brand. Um, Make sure you're choosing clothing that is appropriate and ensure soft and natural lighting.
I just want to add before we move to the next slide, all of the LinkedIn like profiles that I've seen, everybody on that LinkedIn picture is like business professional. It's
Yeah.
like LinkedIn is very like a professional network. So definitely like wear, like a suit, like a nice like shirt and, like look business professional for this type of photo because it really shows that you're like, like a good professional that, like really wants to get a job and, like I think the picture will tell a lot when like a recruiter reviews your profile. Uh, as a hiring manager, like when I see like a profile without a picture or maybe like a picture like that doesn't show like the face, I'm like, why this person hasn't like spent some time to like like develop their LinkedIn profile. And I don't know, it's a little bit weird and maybe because like everybody said that president that LinkedIn it's professional and you need to have all of these things there, but just like sharing my personal experience.
No, thank you. I agree. Your profile picture is definitely the cornerstone of your LinkedIn presence, and it should represent your professional identity. Okay, so now you can use the emojis to let us know what you think is better in terms of the photo. So for the one on the left, use the heart emoji, and the one on the right, use the laughing emoji. Yes, I definitely agree. The one on the left is a better choice for a LinkedIn profile picture. All right, and same thing again, use the reaction buttons to vote. Okay, yes, the one on the right is definitely better. He's by himself, there's good lighting, he's smiling. The background is blurred, so it's not that distracting. Okay, and again, use the reaction buttons to vote. Yes, the one on the right is definitely a better LinkedIn profile picture. The one on the left is a little bit distracting with the background, and she's facing more at a 45-degree angle away from the camera.
It is a good Instagram picture.
Yes, yeah, she's dressed
Yes,
appropriately, her hair looks
exactly.
nice,
Nice.
everything like that, but not for LinkedIn. Okay. And again, they're just showing some other examples of what would be an appropriate LinkedIn profile picture on the left side there, and some options on the right that we wouldn't recommend. So even though uh, the woman who is wearing the black suit, that's an appropriate attire, business attire, but we don't need to show our full stature. It is more appropriate just to have shoulders up in the picture. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the banner image. So this is one of the first things that people notice when they visit your page. It's right behind your profile picture. So you don't want to make the mistake of leaving the LinkedIn default banner image. You want to think about your personal brand and the industry that you're in so that you can choose a photo that is representative of that. So some banner image ideas for your LinkedIn profile. We would suggest a workspace, so clean office space with a desk, laptop, and stationery. And there's an example on the right there. This conveys professionalism and it's ideal for corporate professionals. So maybe if you're in administration, HR, any type of office setting would be appropriate. And then there's the city space. So using a city skyline or a significant landmark, sharing your geographical location or your personal history. So then there's an example of what looks like Toronto on the right there. So maybe you work in finance, maybe that's an appropriate image. for that field. You can also use an image that connects with your cause or mission. So they have one here on the right with windmills. A few more banner image ideas. So tools of the trade. You can showcase your profession with relevant tools. So on the right there, maybe this person is in photography, maybe they're an art director, something in the creative industry. You can use colors or textures. So captivating colors or abstract designs, like the one you see on the right there. You can consider the emotional impact of colors and textures. And again, this would be appropriate for anyone in the creative industry, maybe graphic design. You can also create your own. So you can use tools like Canva to craft a unique banner. You can customize with your name, picture, and elements from these previous options. And I'm just going to pop in the chat the link to the free LinkedIn banner templates on Canva. If you guys want to have a look at those, I think there are many free options. Okay, I just popped it in the chat. Okay, so now we're going to review the LinkedIn headline. So this is the brief text that is located just below your name on your profile. It should be concise and a customizable statement that describes your professional identity and makes people want to learn more about who you are and what you do. It does play a key role in LinkedIn's search algorithm, and it affects how you appear in search results for specific keywords. So it's definitely not something you want to skip. You do want to pay attention to this part of your profile and make sure you're choosing terms that is going to help your visibility. So for example, oh, go ahead.
No, please continue.
Yeah, I was just going to describe for Keelan there. She has career coach, and then her tagline, empowering individuals to discover and achieve their career goals. And then it shows what she's an expert in. So expert in resumes, interviews, personal branding, and networking for success. So she has a little bit of everything in this headline, and it will help for visibility. It also gives you an idea of what she does and what she's good at.
Exactly. And I just wanted to say, I know that some, like we have participants here on this workshop that they're maybe like changing their careers, or, like they're doing something different than what they did before. So you don't have to like add your job title if you're, like between, like changing careers. You can add like the job title of the career that, like you're maybe looking for a job, or you can just like add some skills. Like the banner, it's kind of like different, and I think you should like personalize it to what you can offer to the recruiter, because like Destiny said, when somebody opens your profile, it's the first thing that they see. But just it doesn't have to be the exact thing that we are showing here. You can kind of like create something that represents you, and so you can, like present the skills that you have. Just I know that some people are like very, like thinking about this, and they're like, I'm not sure what to do. So just, like write down a few things that you think they're your strengths, things that you know that you can do, and then you can add those under your LinkedIn headline.
Okay. We do have a participant with their hand raised. If you would like to ask a question, feel free to unmute. Okay, I'll just continue. So we're going to
Actually, sorry, we just
oh
have to
no.
allow them. We just have to allow them to talk.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. No worries.
Um,
Abosera, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. I'm not sure if you can hear us. I think we can continue, and then when they're
yeah,
ready, they can let us know.
yeah, that's okay. Okay, so we're just going to review the LinkedIn headline formulas. So, for example, you're going to have the job title that you have at a specific company, and then matched with several skills underneath. So this is just one of the examples of the formulas you can use. So for example, marketing manager at whatever the company name may be. And then the skill set would be digital marketing, SEO, and content strategy. Another formula you can use is the job title and then aspirations and your mission. So for that example, they use HR manager at global corporation, passionate about talent development. And then a final formula would be aspiring job title, relevant skills, and academic pursuit. So they've added aspiring marketing coordinator, social media management, content creation, and BA in marketing. And I've actually had some of my clients, instead of saying aspiring marketing coordinator, maybe marketing graduate, something like that would be appropriate, or intern.
That's actually a really good idea because it will tell the
Mhm.
employer that you know, like you're a new grad. So I know a lot of like companies want to hire new grads. So it's really good thing to say that probably like maybe you're right, like marketing graduate maybe instead of like aspiring marketing coordinator.
Yeah. We do have a question in the chat. So I'm studying currently to upgrade. So in the banner, should I mention about my previous job title or next job title? Can we have a little bit more context of what your previous job title was and which one you're heading towards? And maybe what you're studying as well. Operations executive. You can always put former operations executive.
Okay, project management. But they're both like connected, you know,
Yeah.
like it's really good thing that you have the background in operations because that really helps if you're studying project management and if you're like looking for project manager, you know, like manager, project coordinator jobs. Absolutely, you can add like operation, like Destiny said, former operation executive, you know, like looking for like a project management, like not looking for project management jobs, maybe project management graduate. I think that's what we said before, right? Like to use the word graduate,
Yeah.
or even just add operations, you know, like as a skill, and then just use like project management graduate. But that is really good. Like it's a really
That's a
like
good combination.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay. So now we're going to go down to the About section of your profile. So this section is going to take a little bit longer for you to put together. It is supposed to be a comprehensive summary of your professional background, your achievements, and aspirations. You really want to tell your career story, but in your own words, to offer insight into your personality, your values, and your goals as it relates to your career. So the keywords that you use in your About section can improve your visibility in LinkedIn searches, much like the headlines that we were suggesting previously. We suggest using around 3 paragraphs or roughly 300 words for your About section.
I just want to share something if that's okay.
Yeah.
When I was writing my own summary for LinkedIn, I'm not gonna lie, it took me some time. And what I did is first I kind of like I was like thinking a lot about how I'm going to start. And I was always saying during interviews and when I was telling people how since a young age I always was kind of like the person that people will come to for advice or they will, you know, like they see me as like a trustworthy person, so they will like tell me their secrets. And I was really good with, you know, like with that, like connecting with people, building relationships. And I didn't know that a job existed which was like human resources. And then when I found that, I realized that that is my passion and I'm really good at that. So I started like my summary, you know, like with that, like kind of like a couple of sentences, just letting them know that I had these skills like since young age. And then the other part is I shared my experience. So I talk a little bit about what I did before, what skills I have, and then the last part is what other people think of me. So I sent emails to my previous managers, to my previous coworkers, my current coworkers, my friends and family, just to share, like a few things about me, what they, like what type of person they think that I am. So they like send me, a couple of things like good communicator, like natural real leader, like those type of things. So I read everything, what they said, and then I picked the things, like I pick like a few things and then I share it in my profile. So it's not something that like I come up with, it's something that they told me that they see in me. So I think like it's a good start, and you can, like you can definitely like try and do that. I'm sure you all have, like previous coworkers or like previous managers that would be happy, like to like answer that question for you, because literally it will take them, like 2 or 3 like minutes just to answer it, especially if they work with you for like quite some time. So I would say try that and then write everything down. You will see you will come up with a really great summary. So don't rush into this, don't overthink it. Just really write about who you are, what is your passion, and what are your skills.
Thank you. Okay. So for the About section, we're going to recommend some formulas. So you can develop your About section by using the present, past, and future formula. So that would mean what you do, how you got there, so what type of education and previous work experiences you had, and what you want to do in the future. Another way that you go about writing your About section is describe who you are, what you do, and what makes you different. So your personality and skills, your current job and duties, and then what makes you unique. So this one's more, I think, talking about that career story, adding that human touch to your profile so that you can make it more relatable to other viewers. And then there's the academic background and aspirations. So what you're studying now, your academic achievements or ongoing projects, and your career aspirations. So this would be a really good one for, if you're currently in school and you haven't had that first career like position yet, I would use that last formula. Okay, so now the experience section. This showcases your professional journey, so from your past to current responsibilities. It includes your internships, freelance work, and any part-time jobs as well. It's crucial for attracting hiring managers and recruiters. And a well-crafted experience section increases your profile visibility, connection requests, and potential messages. Okay. So we're just zoomed in here on an example for a marketing manager. So you would put, it is recommended to list the employment type. So this person is a permanent full-time employee as a marketing manager. The mandatory details would be the job title, the company name, and the start date and end date of your employment. And then you don't want to leave the description part blank either. Some tips for creating standout experience descriptions. You want to be descriptive, so communicate your role, your responsibilities, and especially the achievements you've had in the role. Quantify your achievements, so use numbers and percentages to highlight accomplishments. Definitely use action verbs, so start out your bullet points with impactful verbs, such as implemented, managed, achieved. You want it to be clear and concise, so communicate effectively and avoid using jargon. You want to make sure that there's company context, so briefly describe less known companies to provide context about what you do. And then make sure it's a scannable format, so use bullet points for easy readability, recruiters often scan profiles, so it's not as easy to read big, lumpy paragraphs in your profile. So much like a resume using the bullet points.
And I would say treat LinkedIn as your resume, right? Do not put like 20 bullet points. That's something that I can assure you nobody's going to read. I would say the most 5 to 7. That's it. Because and put like the your not skills, but let's say if you're like doing a lot of project management, right? Put that as your first bullet point, right? Like something that is like important for them to know, something that you know that as a project management, especially if you're looking for a job like that, they're going to look for that particular skill. So make sure you can even like copy and paste some of the things that you have on your resume to your LinkedIn profile, but do not add more than 7, because I'm like nobody's going to read that. They usually like they go for the job title, like, and if the job title matches what they're looking for, then they will continue to read. So I would just say like copy and paste some bullet points and then you should be good.
Okay, so we're going to share some tips for creating standout experience descriptions. So instead of this point, design marketing campaigns for a software product, we recommend saying developed targeted marketing campaigns that resulted in a 30% increase in user engagement and a 25% rise in product adoption rates over a 6-month period. So this just adds that those achievement statements and makes it more, obvious what you've accomplished in the company. There's some questions in the chat.
So Fernanda asked, LinkedIn cannot be customized according to the jobs we apply for. How useful it is to put our LinkedIn in our resume? Okay. Sorry, I have a follow-up question. Like, what do you mean cannot be customized according to the job that you apply for? Usually, like what you put on your LinkedIn profile is are the things that you did in the past, right? Like all of your job experiences. And if you're looking for like a job that maybe you haven't done in the past, that is fine. Like you should still add some of your Okay, so like here's the thing, like whatever you have on your resume, you should have on your LinkedIn profile. I think maybe that will like make it easier, because when you send your resume, when you apply for a job, the hiring managers or recruiters, they're going to look at your LinkedIn profile. Usually, if they don't see the same thing, that's what like raises red flags. And they'll be like, maybe this person is not like truthful. They're not like telling us, like everything. So always make sure whatever you have on your resume, you have on your LinkedIn profile. And then really depends what you're looking for. If you're starting a new career and you don't have a lot of experience, look at those like transferable skills. And when you create a resume, maybe create like a functional resume instead of like chronological resume. Functional resume is where you're focusing on your like strengths and your skills, and that's what you share in the resume. Where a chronological resume is more of where if like you're changing careers, if you have like a steady career where like you're changing jobs, then you're listing like your like employment experience, like in the last like 5 years. So I would say if you are looking for a new job and you haven't done that job like in the past, I would say like start with functional resume and then just like add all of your experience on LinkedIn. And I think that should be okay. But I don't think that you can customize your LinkedIn according to the jobs that you're applying. But I know for sure that under jobs, you can set up job alerts for specific job titles in the specific areas. So every day LinkedIn can send you emails and let you know if like new postings, if new jobs are being posted on that day.
So much like Indeed, you can set
Yeah.
notifications on there as well. Okay. So now we're going to explore the LinkedIn mini course that Keelan developed. So this will be found on your Devant site. I'm just going to share the portal here just to show you what it looks like.
And the great thing about this is that it's now free and it's available to everybody. So you have access to this course, and I highly recommend to take it because it has a lot of great resources.
So once you're signed in to the Devant portal, up at the top here, if you click on courses and certificates, you're going to see the LinkedIn mini course is the third one down. So click there. And then as you can see, there are 5 different modules here. So welcome and LinkedIn basics, then personal branding, setting up your LinkedIn profile, networking on LinkedIn, and using LinkedIn to job search. So you would just hit the start button to launch one of these modules, and it will also track your completion. Okay. So it has a bunch of tasks here for you to go through. And this will basically help walk you through creating your LinkedIn profile, much like the workshop that we have here today. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how to get to the course. So we do recommend that you have a look at that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about LinkedIn or just about job searching in general?
We have one question. So I'm a recent biology honors graduate. I don't have any previous field related experience. All my previous work experiences were regular part-time jobs, such as warehouse, associated Lululemon. What should I put in the work experience section? So this is a really, really good question. So what I would do is add, like your part-time jobs. I think it is important, especially if like if you don't have any other previous experience, it is good, like for hiring managers to see that, like you were like doing something while you were like having part-time jobs while you're studying. We all as hiring managers, we really love when we see that like candidates have worked in retail or like a server, like in customer service, because it really speaks a lot about the skills that they probably acquired at that job. It's customer service, it's problem solving, it's building relationship, communication skills. So those are like some great transferable skills that like you will learn at this type of jobs. And then if you're looking for a job, you can always put education on top. So they see that you're a new grad. And like it might be easier for them, like to like schedule an interview or like reach out to you just because you're fresh out of school, you just graduated. Another option is if you can see if there are any like co-ops or like student placements that you can do, or maybe like volunteer work. So that will be a really great thing because A, you're going to gain some experience, and B, you can put that on your resume, right? And it shows that, oh, you have some experience in this particular skills. Sorry, like field. And then the third thing is again to try maybe with like the chronological, like the functional resume instead of maybe chronological, so you can focus on the skills, right? And then look in the skills that you like gain in your previous jobs and like put like some of those skills that that are important for the current job that you're applying, right? So let's say if you're applying for like project management, like scheduling, time management is like organizational skills is a huge thing, and I'm 100% sure that you like learned that working as like a warehouse associate at Lululemon. So definitely like put those skills first, so when like they read your resume, they'll be like, okay, like this is really good, this person has the skills that we need for this job. So Destiny, is there anything else that, like maybe you want to add?
No, I definitely agree that you would have relevant transferable skills from working as a warehouse associate at Lululemon. So, for example, like organization skills, maybe attention to detail, ability to collaborate, work with a team. You might have had some customer service responsibilities, but maybe not. inventory management. These are definitely valuable skills that you would bring. If you do want to add some more like biology related content to your profile or resume, you can always list relevant coursework or any academic projects that you had, maybe research projects or lab work that demonstrates your knowledge or skill. That would be something that you could do as well. And then, like Katarina said, maybe volunteer work, look for a co-op or an internship that would kind of get your foot in the door in the industry.
I mentioned a lot save the water. So if some of the participants have like joined like some of the sessions that like I do, they will like know like Save the Water. I volunteered for Save the Water, and they're US based nonprofit, and they have a lot of volunteers, and all of the work is remote, and you can work like flexible hours. And it's pretty good because what they do is they remove harmful contaminants from the water, and there is a lot of like biology, like behind it, like lab work, and they always are looking for volunteers. So I would recommend to check their website and see if they have anything posted that might fit your profile. Do we have any other questions? Okay, let's see. I have 9 years of experience in teaching. Now I'm entering into project management field. So what I can use as a title? Okay, so this is a good question. So what I would recommend is if you're entering the project management field, maybe you can enter. Okay, so like actually a follow-up question. Are you in school? Are you, like upgrade, like taking some courses to go into project management, or you're just like changing careers and looking for a job? Because that will help a lot. If you're like in school, you can add project management graduate, and it will like be really good. And then you can just add teaching in your like as your like experience, right? But like in your like LinkedIn banner, or maybe like in your summary on your resume, you can always refer to yourself as like a project management graduate that is looking, like for project management jobs.
You could also say something like education professional transitioning to project management. Okay, doing project management graduate in Algoma. She worked at an engineering college.
Okay, so if you're in
Yeah.
school, then definitely put your education. So I know that I said this couple of times. So for anybody on this webinar that it's in school right now, and if you're like graduating soon, your education should be like on the first page, pretty much on top, like just below maybe your summary, because that tells the hiring managers that you're like in school, or maybe like you're a new grad. So it is very important, but this is only for people who are still in school or who have recently graduated, right? If you have like a lot of years of experience, if you're not in school, your education should be after your experience. So in this like particular case, because you are in school, you're doing project management. So definitely first education should be like on top, first page on top, you can like we said, you can just like refer as to your like project management graduate, or like like looking for project management jobs, the things that we just like previously said. And again, like see if you can find any co-ops, unpaid internships, and like volunteer work jobs that they can help you add a little bit more experience into this field. I also know that like Save the Water had like project management, project coordinator, like volunteer position. So definitely try and check. But there are like so many other companies that are looking for volunteers. So it will be, like helpful to do that, especially because they're all remote. So you don't have to like go in person. We have another question. I'm in my first semester of Office Admin Health Services 2-year diploma. Is there any channel to become a volunteer in a hospital? So hospitals, I know that they're looking for volunteers. So what I would do is check the hospital websites, because I know that they're posting there, or I will check Charity Village. Charity Village is like a really good like page where companies are posting their volunteer positions. So I would check there, but I think that's kind of like the channels that you can kind of like see. Just Google it and see what comes up, but also check the hospital website under like career opportunities and see if they're looking for any volunteers, and also check like Charity Village because they might have posted there. Another thing is connect on LinkedIn with, like the hiring manager or like the clinical lead at the department that you want to volunteer, and they might be able, like to just like help you and say, hey, like we need volunteers, like and guide you to the like right person that can, like actually like help you with that.
And like Katerina said, definitely check the hospital websites for your target hospitals that you'd like to work at. They might have a volunteer program, potentially even a volunteer coordinator that you could reach out to specifically. You could also potentially attend a volunteer fair, maybe like a virtual volunteer event to learn more about volunteer opportunities in your community. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, another question. So I'm about to graduate in April and I'm applying for the job of, okay, sciences. I'm trying to connect with people who already have a job. What would be the best way to connect with those people and also ask for any guidance? So this is a really great question. We talk a lot about informational interviews. I'm sure that some of you, like are familiar with this term. So informational interviews, pretty much you connect with people in the field, somebody that has like many years of experience, and they're in the field that you want to go, right? And you just send them an email and just say, hey, like I really want to, start working into this field. This is what I'm looking for. So I was just wondering if you have 10-20 minutes, like we can do it on Zoom or like, like a phone call. I just want to ask a couple of questions, like how you started into this field. What are some things that they need to pay attention? So these informational interviews are not for you to ask if they have any openings. You don't talk about, like job search. You don't talk about like resume. You don't do any of that. You literally like meet with this person if they're available, if they want to connect with you, and just ask them questions about the field, how they started this job, what education they have, right? What are some things that what skills are needed for this type of role? If they're at the director level, like how long it took them to get to that level, what did they do? So they can provide you with valuable advice. And you can definitely use that when you start looking for jobs. And you never know, if you connect with them after 2 months, something opens up, they think of you, they might reach out to you, right? But these informational interviews are only for you to get information about the, like the field. So I think that would be one way, like to connect with people. And then if you know somebody that is in the field that you want to be, you can always ask a friend or a family member, hey, like, do you mind connecting me with this person? I really want to ask them a few questions. And that might be like another way to do it.
I would also make sure you're connected to the alumni network. So when you do graduate, stay connected with people in your program, see where they ended up. It's also a great way to follow like their career path and trajectory and see what positions are open now. But I also agree that informational interviews are a great way to learn a bit more about the role and how someone in a job that you aspire to be in got to that position. Okay.
Do we have any other questions?
Alexandra asked, where can we find volunteer opportunities in the financial services industry?
Oh, okay. Right, volunteer opportunities. I would definitely try again, like Charity Village, and
Mhm.
I would check
Or Pillar
banks website.
nonprofit too.
Yes, yeah, like nonprofit, uh, the big banks, right? They might have some volunteer opportunities, but I would go on Google and just maybe type like volunteer opportunities in the financial industry and see what comes up.
I think RBC has a student program called like Career Launch or something like that. That might be worth
Yes,
looking into.
You're right. I know that they're really big on volunteering. I think they give their
Yeah.
employees one day where they have to go like and volunteer somewhere, which is pretty cool. But definitely, yes, like look at RBC, look at TD, Scotia, CIBC, like the big banks, like they might have like some programs where they, like get volunteers. They also have like a lot of events. So, like there might be something where you can start.
Okay, yeah, I just looked it up. So RBC does have a program called RBC Amplify. So it's a summer internship program for undergraduate and graduate students interested in working in technology and innovation. So I'll just pop that term into the chat. Definitely would be something worth looking into. Oh,
Do we have any other questions? We have 10 minutes left. Can be anything, doesn't have to be LinkedIn. Please guide on finding IT co-op opportunities on LinkedIn. Okay. So what I would do is so like co-op opportunities, especially in the IT sector, you might not like see a lot just because the last 2 years there was like a meltdown. Like that, no, sorry, like that the IT sector was like struggling a little bit. There were like a lot of like layoffs and stuff like that. So they're not even hiring. I know that like some companies like started doing that, but it's really hard, like I know, to find a job, like from what I have read online and people, like sharing their experience. But like what I would do is maybe type on LinkedIn IT intern or like IT co-op and see like what comes up. I would recommend to look on Indeed as well, Job Bank, Glassdoor, Monster. So those are like a really good job boards to look for intern positions. But I'm not sure if there are like many IT co-op opportunities. If you're affiliate, if you're like if you're in school and looking for IT co-ops, I know that every school has their own website where they post co-ops, like in jobs. Also talk to your program coordinator or co-op, sorry, coordinator. They might be able to guide you. They might know like more companies, they might know like people. So and like those are the things that like I would try, but I don't want to scare you, like I really don't want to scare you, but that's what I've heard about the IT, like field right now. And that's might be why like if you can find a co-op, that might be the case. Will the volunteer coordinators look at my LinkedIn profile like the recruiters do? Is it possible to get a criminal background check report without a company letter? Okay, so volunteer coordinators. So usually when they look for volunteer jobs, I feel like it's the recruiter or like whoever, like the hiring managers. They might be somebody, like they will definitely look at your LinkedIn profile if they're looking for a job. You can even, like express that in your maybe like summary or like headline if it's something that, like you're interested, right, doing. So, but yes, like if they're looking for volunteers, they would either post, or if nobody applies to the posting, they might look at like LinkedIn. But considering how many people want to do like internship and co-op placements and volunteers, they don't even need to look on LinkedIn. Pretty much they post a job and like people apply. So I don't think that they go on LinkedIn to, like look for volunteers. And then is it possible to get a criminal background check without, like, why do you need a criminal background check? So I would not recommend like getting that if you don't have a job. Usually like the jobs that they require that, they will allow you sometime in the beginning to obtain that, and they will provide you with anything that you need. Personally, we ask our therapists to obtain vulnerable sector checks, and they can do it without like a letter from us. So I would say no, I don't think that you can get a criminal background check without like a company letter, but there might be some other ways to do it. But my question is, why do you need a criminal background check? Because if the company needs it, you can provide it after you. Okay, so like
Yes.
you will
Yeah.
provide that.
That'd be a vulnerable sector
Yes,
check.
yes.
Yeah.
And you will provide that when the hospital hires you. If they ask a question during the interview, you can just say no, but like it might be expired, but I can obtain a new one. And I can assure you that there's not going to be something that they will reject you for. Okay, because I do the same thing. I'm in healthcare, and for people that I hired, not volunteers, therapists, if they don't have a background check, we give them a letter, we give them like a code, and they go and apply and then obtain that later. So like it's part of your documents if you get like a volunteer work at the hospital, but you don't have to obtain that in advance. You can obtain it if you get the volunteer work. Okay.
Okay. So we have another question here. So I am in a post-grad research program in research, but in the meantime, before my co-op placement, I secured a permanent full-time position in the industry. Congratulations on that. I have previous experience working in international funded projects in my home country. I have a passion for teaching too. Would you recommend how to tailor the resume for a teaching position? Okay. I mean, it sounds like you have a lot of great experience, especially with research and the project management that you've done with an international funding. So I would highlight that. I would highlight your passion for teaching. I don't know, Katerina, what else do you think?
So there's no previous teaching experience, right? I'm just like rereading the question again.
Post-grad research. Oh, no, sorry.
So for a college instructor position, I think that they're like looking for like some, if I'm not sure, but I think they're looking for some type of education, like maybe like teaching experience or something. So I'm not 100% sure into this, but what I would do maybe I would like Google and then see what are the requirements that they're looking for you to become like a college instructor, because I think you need to have at least like experience in the field, and that might be like something that might help you. But to be honest, I would maybe like highlight, so let's say if you have experience in HR, right, and you want to become like an HR college instructor, I would highlight your HR experience, and in your like headline or like your like summary on your resume, just like say that you're looking for like teaching positions in HR, and when they read, they can see all of your like teaching experience. If you're doing something, let's say if you did some training in like that like particular field, you can also put that, because like training, it's something similar like teaching, facilitating. So those are kind of like my recommendation. I don't know like if you have any teaching, like previous teaching experience, because that might help, and definitely add that to your resume. But if you just have work experience, like in different fields, and you're looking into teaching, I would say, like maybe Google it, like, or find the job posting, see what type of requirements they're looking for. So it will give you a better idea what would your next steps be.
I think because you said you have a passion for teaching, I thought you already did some, and maybe you have. But if not, like Katerina said, definitely highlight those leadership skills, any type of, maybe you did train other employees. That would be a form of teaching for sure. So that would be valuable to add. Okay. Another question, as a data scientist with no experience, should I put my GitHub profile in my resume and LinkedIn?
What is GitHub?
I don't know what that is. I could look it up quick, or you could let us know.
Manav, can you tell us, let us know, like, what is GitHub? Is it something related to data science?
I'm assuming it's industry specific. And I don't work with a lot of data scientists. Oh, it's
All kind of
code.
code is
It's
for
coding.
absolutely, yes, then.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I would say like any hard and soft skill that you guys have, put on your resume. Any type of software that like you have experience with, like definitely put it. Like it's important, like skill. So anything that it's related to the job that you're applying and you did it, like in the past, absolutely add it, like on your resume. For sure. Like it's pretty good. Like add the link so they can click on it and they can see all of your like coding stuff posted there. So it's like a good marketing tool, like definitely do it.
Okay. Also, where you can find project management volunteering positions. I'm just going to pop in the Charity Village website in the chat because that will be helpful. They post nonprofit paid positions and unpaid positions.
There are a couple of other, like
The Pillar,
volunteer. Yeah, UN volunteer. There's I think Toronto volunteer website. So what I would do is just maybe on Google type like volunteer websites and you will see like things will pop up. And then you can look for volunteer roles on there. So we have 1 minute left. I just wanna tell you about the workshops that we have next week and in March. So next week, actually, we have a career cafe. This is pretty much a really great, like webinar where, like participants join and they ask their questions. We talk about everything, job search, interviews, like it's a really good webinar. So feel free, like to sign up. Then on February 28th, we have immigration Q&A. They're talking about obtaining PR as an entrepreneur. March 6th, it's Employer Insight, crafting your career story. And March 13th, connecting with confidence, LinkedIn networking. So you can find all of the events on the Devant website, and you can sign up for free. And you can register to attend, like this workshops. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us today and asking, like these great questions. You can join next week Career Cafe if you have any other questions, and we will be happy to answer that.